Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be making a start lying down on our backs. So you can bring the soles of the feet onto the earth about hip width apart. Let the knees stay about hip width apart as well, so the legs are bent. And just bring the arms down by your side, palms facing down or up, totally up to you, and let the eyes close for a few rounds of breath. Start to really feel into all of those parts of the body that are connected with the earth beneath you. So the toes, the soles of the feet, especially the balls of the feet and the arches, the back of your glutes and the sacrum, perhaps not the lower back so much, but definitely the back of the rib cage, the shoulder blades, all the way down the arms and the palms of the hands, and then the back of the head as well. And just allow yourself to sink down a little bit deeper into the earth. Bringing the energy down from your head and into the heart, into the body. Start to bring your awareness to the breath. Try to find a rhythm to your breath that feels manageable, that feels natural. We don't want anything to be forced or laboured here. Just let it happen organically. And then whenever you're ready, blink the eyes open. Draw your right knee up into your chest. Give it a nice little squeeze, interlacing the hands at the top of your shin bone. Squeezing that knee up towards the chest. And then release the bind with your hands and let your right ankle cross over your left thigh. Keep an activation or a flexion to your right foot so the toes are lifting up towards the shin. And I want you to think about pressing that right knee away from you without using your hands, just using the strength of your glutes. You can either stay exactly as you are here, or you can start to float your left foot up off the mat, and maybe you interlace the hands behind the left thigh or on top of the left shin. As you do this, keep that right foot engaged and keep pressing the right knee away from you. The more that you counter or resist the left knee being drawn in, the deeper that you will feel this stretch down the outside of your right thigh. Don't feel like you have to be stagnant or still here. You can find a little bit of movement, maybe just shifting the weight from side to side ever so slightly. It won't take much for you to feel the difference. Everyone's different, so it's important to explore these postures. Amazing. On your next exhale, just release the bind of the hands. Let the left foot float back down to the earth. Uncross the right foot from the left. In between sides, we're going to draw the knees up towards the chest. Wrap the arms around the shins. Draw the forehead up towards the knees and the knees towards the forehead. You should feel that really switch on the core. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. Beautiful. Let the feet float back down to the earth once again. This time draw your left knee up, interlace the hands at the top of the left shin bone. Squeeze that knee up towards your chest. And then release the hands, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Flex your left foot and press the knee away from you, just using the strength in your hips, not using your hands. And then keeping this integrity, you might want to float your right foot up off the earth. Maybe you interlace the hands behind the thigh. When you're here, try to keep pressing your sacrum down against the earth, so lengthening the tailbone down, keeping that length all the way along the spine. Shoulders remain soft, chest remains broad. And again, maybe a subtle little bit of movement here, if that felt good on the last side. Awesome. Come back to center, release the bind of the hands, let the right foot float down, followed by the left. Once again, draw the knees up towards your chest, wrap the arms around the shins, Lift your shoulder blades up off the mat and try and squeeze the knees towards the forehead and vice versa. Keep drawing your belly button back towards the spine. One more big breath. Amazing. And then release. Let the feet reconnect with the earth. We're going to come into our supine bakasana, which is our supine crow pose. So a little bit of a spoiler, this is what we're going to be building up for in today's class. So press the palms up towards the sky, extending through the arms. And as you do this, I want you to feel the shoulder blades start to lift slightly, so you don't have as much of a connection between the shoulder blades and the earth beneath you. Now, once you've got that, and you're really imagining that you're trying to hold up the ceiling with your palms, start to draw the knees up towards your elbows and maybe a little bit higher, squeezing them towards the back of your upper arm. Flex through your feet. Keep pressing through the hands. You should really feel this in the core, holding for one more breath. And then release. Good. Just take a moment in stillness. You can circle out through the wrists. You can let the knees sway from side to side. We're going to do this 2 more times. It's such a good way for you to feel what crow pose should feel like, but you're taking away any of the weight or the gravity or the fear of face planting, okay? But these are all of the muscles that should be switched on when you're in your crow pose. So once again, press the palms of the hands up towards the earth. This is called protraction of the shoulder blades. So we're trying to push the arms up, and there'll be a nice doming across the top of the back. And then start to squeeze your knees up towards your armpits or just the upper arms. Flex through the feet. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Try to connect the arms and the knees. One more breath. And release. Awesome. Again, any movements here that you need to. And then last one, press the palms up towards the earth. Imagine that you're supporting that sky and then start to squeeze the knees in. I know it looks a little bit ridiculous when you're upside down, but it's so good. Can you lift those knees a little bit higher? You should be trembling. You can probably hear it in my voice that I am. Keep pressing up towards the sky. One more breath. Amazing. And release. Good job. Circle out through the knees, circle out through the wrists. And then we're going to rock up and down the spine. So place the hands behind the thighs. Take a few rock and rolls backwards and forwards. And then cross your ankles, place the hands forwards. And we're going to step it back into our wide-legged child's pose. So connect the big toes, knees come out nice and wide. Let the hips drop back towards your heels. Extend the arms forwards. We're not going to be here for too long, but just use the weight of the hips to start opening up into the groin slightly. And from here, we're going to walk the hands off to the right-hand side. Really stretch through the left fingertips. You can let the chest and the torso drapes over that right thigh, but keep trying to plug your left hip back towards your left heel. One more breath here. And then coming back to center. And take it straight over to the left-hand side. So this time really reach through the right fingertips. Imagine all of that space, that length that you're creating down the right-hand side of the body. One more breath. Awesome. Come back to center. Big inhale here. And then as you exhale, press down through both hands. Start to lift the hips, slide the knees slightly closer together, coming to find your tabletop position. Take a couple of rounds of normal cat-cow here, just opening up and articulating into the spine, creating a little bit of fluidity, finding that connection between movement and between breath. And then come back to find stillness. We're going to warm up the wrists slightly, so keeping the spine long, just shift your weight forwards and backwards. So as the shoulders glide in front of the wrists, you'll feel that the fingertips start to grip. This is really good. This is exactly what it will feel like in your crow pose. So really grip with the fingertips. It will spread the load, and it means it just takes a little bit of the pressure out of the wrist joints and spreads it more evenly across the whole palm of the hand. Come back to center. Pick the hands up so that the fingertips are pointing towards the outside edges of the mat. And then just take a little bit of a sway from side to side. Perfect. Come back to center once again. Pick the hands up once again and continue that circle so that the thumbs are pointing to the outside edges of the mat and the fingertips are pointing towards the knees. If this feels completely unavailable, just do one hand at a time. That's not a problem. And then again, all we're going to do is shift the weight forwards and backwards. So the heel of the hand might lift slightly. That will just contribute to the really juicy stretch that we're getting down the forearms. Perfect. Come back to find stillness. Pick the hands up one at a time, giving them a little bit of a shake out. Last little bit on the wrists. We're going to turn the hands upside down. So we're on the backs of the hands and let the fingertips point towards the center of the mat. So the fingertips will be pointing towards each other. And then from here, really try to press down through the backs of the hands, lift up and out of your shoulders. If this is already feeling like plenty, which for a lot of you it probably will, it's super strong, just stay here. Or if you can, see if you can make little fists with the hands. So curling the thumbs and the fingers in and then release. Just two more like this. Squeeze the thumbs and the fingers towards each other, curling them into a fist and release. Last one. Good job. And release. Again, just pick the hands up, give them a little bit of a shake out. Beautiful. And then we're going to isolate the shoulders a little bit now. So instead of in our cat-cow where we move with the whole spine, we're going to try and focus just on the shoulder blades. So again, I mentioned earlier this protraction of the shoulder blades. So we're going to be working with retraction, which is letting the chest sink down and squeezing the shoulder blades together. So the shoulder blades will wing slightly as your chest drops, and then pressing through the hands and trying to dome through the spine or through the top of the back. So we're just working with this upper section of the shoulders. So as you inhale, you'll let the chest drop, you'll sink the chest in between the arms, and then as you exhale, you'll press through the hands, and this is just working with the shoulder blades. You should get a nice little dome across the top of the back. Just do a few more like this. It won't be long before you start to feel quite a lot of heat building up around the shoulders and the shoulder blades, especially if you're working hard enough. Good. Last couple. Amazing. Come back to find your neutral spine. From our tabletop position, we're going to work our way down into our Sphinx pose. So walk the hands forwards, let the elbows drop, shuffle the knees back, and ripple all the way down onto your belly. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. We've still got the fingertips spread out nice and wide. You can bring your feet as far apart as feels comfortable for you. Really push down into the earth through your pubic bone, so through the front of the hips, and you should feel that really activating your glutes. We also want to reciprocate this, repeat this in our arms as well. So press down through the hands and the forearms and try and lift up and out of the elbows and the shoulders. So we're not collapsing through the shoulders and the chest here. We're really trying to lift up and out. Imagine that you're trying to draw your elbows back towards your feet, and this will help you to really open up into the heart. Take one more breath here. And then from your Sphinx pose, we're going to tuck the toes under, press down even more through the forearms, and lift your hips up, coming into our forearm plank. From your forearm plank, start to shift the weight forwards onto tippy toes, and then come back for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Come back into your forearm plank, release the hips down, untuck the toes, and make your way back into your Sphinx pose. So take the gaze out long in front of you. If you want to have a little bit of a breather, just widen through your elbows, make a little pillow for your hands, and allow the hips to sway from side to side, or just staying in your Sphinx, whatever feels right for you. We're going to do that 2 more times. Sorry. So from your Sphinx pose, once again, tuck the toes under. Press down as much as you can through the forearms and through the palms of the hands. Really try to protract your shoulder blades so we're not sagging through the chest here. Zip up the core, and then once again, forwards and back for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Good. Come back to center. Release the hips down. Make your way into your Sphinx or down onto the belly, whatever you prefer. Beautiful. Make your way back into your Sphinx. If you've gone anywhere else, one more round, guys. You've got this. Energize those legs. Press the heart forwards. Tuck the toes under. Last one. Lift the hips. Zip up the core and then shift the weight forwards and back for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. And release. Take your time. This time, if you haven't already, just let the elbows come out nice and wide. Make that little pillow for your forehead with your hands and allow the hips to sway from side to side. Beautiful, guys. When you're ready, slide the hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under. Use your knees to press up and back into your downward facing dog. Take a big breath here. And then press on through your left foot, sweep your right leg up to the sky. On your next exhale, we're going to stack shoulders on top of wrists and bring your right knee to tap your right elbow. Inhale to re-extend the right leg, three-legged dog. 2 more like this. Exhale, knee to elbow. Take your time, slow the movements down. Inhale to press back. Last one, knee to elbow. This time, pause here. Flex your right foot and step the right foot to the outside of your right hand. You can come up onto fingertips here to really allow you to press the chest forwards. Take a couple of little rocks forwards and backwards, maintaining that length along the spine. Option to lower the back knee down if you would like to. That's not a problem at all. And then everybody press down firmly through both hands. Step the right foot all the way up and back, three-legged dog. And exhale to release it down next to the left. Beautiful. This time grounding down through the right foot. Inhale to reach the left leg up. Exhale, taps left knee to left elbow. Shoulders stack on top of the wrists. Inhale to press it back. Move as if you are gliding through honey. So super fluid, super slow. Inhale to press back. Last one. This time, pause here, flex that left foot, step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Come up onto tented fingertips, roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. Again, take a little rock forwards and backwards here. Beautiful work, guys. Ground down through both hands, coming back to stillness. Press down firmly through the palms. Sweep your left foot all the way up and back into your three-legged dog, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. On your next inhale, look to the front of the mat. As you exhale, bend through the knees and step the feet out nice and wide. Toes pointing out, heels pointing in, and drop your hips down, keeping the spine long, coming into our Malasana or Yogi squat. So hands gather at the heart. You can use the elbows to really press the knees out nice and wide. If you want to here, you can support yourself with a cushion or a block underneath the sit bones. That's not a problem. And don't feel like you have to really sit the hips all the way down. You can also keep the heels slightly lifted. There's loads and loads of options. So please don't be disheartened if you can't come into the most sort of the deepest expression of the posture. It's really not a problem. And then from our Malasana, we're going to release the hands down to the earth, keeping the feet up nice and wide. Start to press down through the soles of the feet. Lift the hips up and melt down into a forward fold. Don't worry if you want to keep a little bit of a micro bend through the knees here, that's fine. On your inhale, let the hips drop back. Start to open up through the chest. Hands to heart center, Malasana. We've got 3 more like this. Exhale, press down through the feet, lift the hips, extend the legs. Let the head be heavy, forward fold. Inhale to come back into your Malasana or Yogi squat. Good. 2 more like this. Exhale to forward fold. Really drive down through the feet. Let the spine be as long as you can. Inhale to your Malasana. Last one. Meeting back in our Malasana, holding here for 3, for 2, find that length along the spine, for 1, to make our way out, press down through both feet, extend through the legs, rise up, extend the arms all the way up to the sky, and then exhale, hands come down by the side, heel toe the feet back in so that they're about hip width apart. On your next inhale, reach the arms wide and high. As you exhale, melt down into your forward fold, take your time. Inhale to your halfway lift, hands connect with the shins, press the heart forwards, reach through the top of your head. Exhale to forward fold, plant both hands down, step it back into your high plank. Take a moment to really set up here. We're going to be in our plank, and exactly as we did in our tabletop earlier, we're going to see if we can isolate this protraction and retraction into the shoulder blades. So let the chest drop and then press through the hands and try and dome across the top of the back. So you should see that it's not working the whole of the spine, it's just the shoulders. Drop the knees if you need to. Last one. Amazing. Now everybody drop their knees, hug the elbows in. As you exhale, lower halfway. Inhale to come back up. 2 more like this. Exhale to lower. Inhale to come back up. Try and keep your head in line with the rest of the spine. All the way back up, and then press the hips back into your child's pose. Beautiful job, guys. Take 3 breaths here, just reconnecting with the breath, allowing everything to settle slightly in the body. And then lift the hips up slightly, press down through the hands, tuck all 10 toes under and come back to find your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, look to the front of the mat. As you exhale, step or hop to the outsides of your hands, so keeping those feet out nice and wide. Sit into your Malasana. Now, there is the option to stay here. That is no problem at all. If you don't feel like you want to take any sort of flight today, then you just stay in your Malasana. This is such a great stepping stone up into Ardha or crow pose. If you would like to have a little go with your crow, bring your hands down so that they are shoulder width apart. Spread out nice and wide through all 10 fingers. Lift the hips and try to snuggle your knees as high up the back of the arms as you can. So really up into the armpits. Now you might just want to be here and just have a little bit of a play with rocking the weight forwards and backwards. So coming up onto your toes and then letting the heels drop back down. If you're somewhere in between, then start to bring your weight forward slightly. Really think about that protraction through the shoulders. So we're pressing out through the hands. And maybe you start with just lifting one heel up off the mat, squeezing it into the bum, and then releasing it back down, and then maybe the other heel. Good. If you want to come up into your crow pose, you can do it 1 foot at a time, or you can start to rock the weight forwards and then start to squeeze the heels in towards your bum, really engaging through the core. Now to release out, you can just drop the feet down and then step it back through a high plank. If you would like a little bit of a challenge, she says, hopefully she can demonstrate it. Coming from your Bakasana, see if you can jump the feet back into your Chaturanga. So bending through the elbows, jumping halfway back, and then inhaling into your upward facing dog or any back bend. And then exhale into your downward facing dog. So no matter what journey you took, everybody meeting in a downward facing dog. Take a couple of big breaths here. On your next inhale, look to the front of the mat. As you exhale, step or hop through to seated. So cross the ankles, let the hips connect with the earth. And then we're going to place the soles of the feet together. You can bring them as close to your sit bones or as far away as you would like. You can open the feet up a little bit like a book using the help of your hands, maybe a little foot massage whilst you're here. And then inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine. And exhale to press the chest forwards. Try to keep length through the spine as much as you can. You can use the elbows on the insides of your thighs or on the insides of your calves to just help with this pretty deep, beautiful hip opener. Amazing. On your next inhale, slowly, slowly lift back up. Draw the knees together. Use the help of your hands. Wrap your arms around your shins. Let the forehead rest down against your knees. Slowly, slowly unravel. Cross the ankles, making your way into your Sukhasana or easy seat. You can prop yourself up on a block here if you need to. Let the hands rest lightly on your knees. Roll the shoulders down and away from the ears. Sit up nice and tall whilst maintaining this feeling of rooting down through the sit bones, but rising up and out through the crown of your head. And just let the eyes come down to a close. No matter what happened in today's class, whether you found it quite challenging or perhaps it was quite simple for you, whether you fell down, whether you could or couldn't achieve the poses, it really doesn't matter. I do say this a lot, but it's not about the final destination. It's never about the final destination in life or in our yoga practice. It's all about the journey. It's about the transitions. It's about the process of it. And I think it's really important to try and find the beauty in that as much as we can. So please don't worry if there were parts that were quite difficult. That's the aim of it. But it's just how you managed that and how you faced it. When you're ready, bring the hands to heart center, rest the thumbs lightly on your chest, bow your head. Thank yourself once again for showing up for your practice today. It's not just showing up for your yoga practice, but it's showing up for yourself. And thank you so, so much for allowing me to guide you once again. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. You might be able to hear the odd little snore in the background from my dog. I hope you will have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon.